Hi, hello. How's it going? Hi, hello. How's it going? And I hope you can hear me now, because it basically said because I had these in my ears, you might not be able to hear me. Anyway, it's reasonably late in the evening, for me anyway. It's just approaching 9 p.m. and after my last attempt at reading for 24 hours, I'm doing it again. But I want to see what is it going to be like starting kind of late evening. So I'm probably going to make it like 9:15ish, I want to say. I'm going to start at 9:15 and yeah, and carry on going for as much as I can, reading for 24 hours. As I've said before, I am going to need sleep, so it's not like I'm reading for the entire night. I am going to need sleep. And hey, if you haven't seen that video where reading for 24 hours was a little bit disappointing last time, be sure to check out that last video by subscribing, like this video if you enjoy it, and comment down below if you've got any tips for reading for 24 hours. I don't know, I'm still learning, but yeah, bit of an experiment. I'm going to try reading starting at 9:15, and I have been very confused with Wife by Charlotte Middleton. I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I did get the audiobook in the end, and I'm on chapter 5, but it's very intense, so it's definitely a psychological thriller. Trigger warnings for emotional abuse, trigger warnings for young adult mental health. CAMHS is mentioned in there as well, just saying. For those of you who don't know what that is a mental health service for young people, children and young people. Yeah, so far those are the only trigger warnings that I know of. Oh, there could be another, having said that, there is another trigger warning for homophobia. So there's that as well. But yeah, like I say, I'm only in chapter 5, but I do have the audiobook. So let's see how I get on with this. Right. It's actually creeping up. Is it quite 9:15 yet? I think it's just gone like 5 minutes past 9, so I'll start in a minute and see how I get on. I wanted to say excuse my appearance because I've just come back from the shops. It is now over 26 degrees and I walked both ways, which I'm somewhat regretting. So it's not too bad because I got ice creams, I got coffee pods, which is actually what I needed, and I got more salad items, which again, we needed them. One thing I couldn't get was peach iced tea. Never mind, we'll make do. The rest of the stuff I actually brought for myself. I brought ice creams, I brought muffins, I brought Haribo, and I brought chocolate, which I ate a chocolate bar on the way back, which gave me energy. It gave me energy, and I ate half the Haribo. But I am coming back on because I have finished a book. I have read 320 pages. Now, bearing in mind I read this via audio. So I have read 320 pages, and the book that I read was called Manhunt, I believe, by Colin Sutton. And if I remember correctly, sorry, the open bag of Haribo is right in front of me. It would be rude not to. So this is basically based upon a true of the detective who worked on the Levi Bellfield case. It's my understanding that it was the lead investigator right up until 2008, where pretty much all of his murder cases that he was found guilty of got convicted of, apart from Minnie Dowler, which obviously, if you're aware of this case, you will know that that took longer, and then it produced evidence of a phone hacking with the News of the World. For those of you who don't know, News of the World was a newspaper. So yeah, and I believe, because it said this at the end of the book, it said that Millie Dowler's case came to trial in I want to say 2012, but I could be misremembering that. But he also mentioned a press conference by the, I want to say MPC or NCC, I'm not sure. I think it sounds like that. However, I don't think what I've just said is correct. It's the people above, like the detectives and the hierarchy officers who are running these investigations. It's the people higher up that makes the final decision whether to take it to prosecution or to lawyers to push the case further on. I think in America it's called something different. I don't know what it is exactly. But one thing it did mention was a press conference by the head of the whatever team it's called, basically saying that there is insufficient evidence to charge Levi Bellfield with 3 charges, 2 of them relating to Millie Dowler. And to be honest, if you're interested in that kind of thing, I recommend reading the book, because it does go into kind of like an insider of the investigation. Like, it touches on how he was feeling psychologically, physically and mentally. It's talked about his personal career and where he wants to go, and then by the time Millie Dowler's case was actually in trial, he had actually retired after a 30-year career. I felt it was very interesting. I only gave it 4 stars because I felt like it wasn't voicing the victims enough. And I'm going to leave a question mark over this because it was quite focused on the lead investigator. Now, I will prefer that as opposed to highlighting the Levi Bellfield, the serial killer. And it does go into detail of the cases that they could not bring to trial as well, which I loved, because I don't want to know how those victims feel with the fact that their case has not been put to trial. And I didn't also know that he was part of setting up, like, I forget what it was called, but basically it was like a support group, a support organisation for those victims whose cases they could not put to trial, just so that, hey, you're very much in our light of thoughts. What do you need? What support do you need? This is about helping the victims that their cases are putting on trial, but also future victims if this guy doesn't get convicted. Sorry, my arm's hurting. There we go. There, you can see the fan. So yeah, it was a very interesting read. And if you're a true crime nerd like me, I would recommend it. Obvious trigger warnings for murder, sexual assault of a minor, mental health issues, and yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, just be aware. Yeah, so I've definitely read over 320 pages for reading for 24 hours. It's just gone 3:30 in the afternoon. I need to work out how much I've read of Wife. I believe when I started filming this vlog, I was on chapter 5. I am now on chapter 9. I've been dipping in and out. I've been changing from the physical book to the audio book. I have no idea how many pages that is. If I do, by the time this goes out, I will add it to the 320 and stick it on the screen. But anyway, I've still got a little bit of work to do, so we'll see. I'm going to put the stuff away, and I would like to do a workout, but it's very hot. So I might have to wait until after dinner to do that. I think it's going to be another late one. Who knows? I might start another reading for 24 hours, because I'm quite enjoying these vlogs with reading for 24 hours and not actually timing anything, which is more of a challenge, but it's also making me read whilst still having to do work, still having to send out messages and emails and edit and all that stuff. So it's quite interesting how this kind of like fits into my life, not just online. So yeah, yeah. So I will check back in when I've read more pages. So if you've got this heat wave that we have in England right now, I hope you're enjoying the sunshine at least, and I hope you're staying cool and drinking a lot of water. I've just realised I've read 420 pages in total today, and I've still got time left. Not a lot of time left. It's just approaching 8 o'clock and I need to have a shower. So, yeah. I don't know how much more I'm going to read, but just for the fact that I've read 420 pages... Oh, hello. Just for the fact that I've read 420 pages... that's crazy. And this is getting my mojo back for reading regularly. Like I say, it's sometimes hard to schedule reading when you're working quite a bit. But doing this, reading how much I can read in 24 hours and going by the pages and not bother timing, this is really making me read more regularly. Yes, I have to pronounce the syllables to say that word. Anyway, I'm going to have a shower because I'm very, very sweaty. So, yeah. We'll see how this goes. But to be honest, even if I don't read anymore, I'm happy with 420 pages in 24 hours. I'm happy with that.